In the heart of the capital, Shillong, a recent screening of the documentary film Where the Clouds End, made by Wanphrang Diengdoh, received an enthusiastic response from a cross-section of the people. The award-winning filmmaker replied to a series of queries on different aspects of the film and what motivated him to delve into the challenging theme of identity and change. Diengdoh's foray into such issues is not new. His last film, 1987, received critical acclaim when the film walked away with the Best Film, Best Screenplay and Best Cinematography awards in the competition section of the festival. He is a 2009 recipient of the Foundation for Indian Contemporary Art Public Art Grant, a fellowship that seeks to encourage artists to engage with the environment through contemporary visual language. His project Kali Kamai is located in a functioning taxi that moves around Shillong.
I believe that my films always reflect a particular reality that is going on in Shillong, where the clouds end. A lot of the film deals with the writing of history as a power contestation. It looks at who writes history for whom. It's a huge leap from 1987 to Where the Clouds End, no doubt. I've been dealing with subject matters for the past maybe 4 to 5 years. And the more you start reading about things, the more you start to analyze things, the more you start looking at these concepts of race, you suddenly realize that these are issues that people from different parts of the world experience. It's not only something that people in Shillong experience. It's something that everybody experiences across the world, where there's a mixed space. So, for example, this film has the same kind of relevance if it was to be screened in Delhi. I've screened the film in Delhi to packed halls, and the kind of reaction would be more or less the same as the kind of reaction that I would get in Shillong. So therefore, the subject might be the same. The issue might be the same. So the subject might be about race, it might be about identity politics. But how do I make a film that will also be understood and be read the same way as somebody perhaps in Delhi or South America or Europe or in all these other spaces? It's being screened on the 23rd at Cambridge University. It was screened at Colombia, Medellin, at the United Nations World Urban Forum.
Questions for film?
It's a little inconclusive as to what your stand is, but is there a stand that you're trying to make?
I often get asked this question, what is your stance on the whole issue? But it's not a black and white situation. Secondly, I think it's important for us to ask questions first. These so-called custodians of culture, keepers of culture, it's a very male-centric kind of a space, and
I don't think the men are the keepers of culture. They're the imposers for who should be the keepers of culture. Eventually, that burden is on women.
Right.
That you dress right.
Yes.
You learn to cook hearty dishes. It's expected of them that they continue to wear the ginseng, they continue to speak the language,
yes,
etc., etc. But the questions have never been raised about men who marry outside.
Correct.
It's always about women.
Correct. It's a very male,
Okay,
you're absolutely
very
right.
interesting. Your next project should actually trace how many men have gone and married Bengali women, asking women.
You're looking at what?
There's a huge shift in the concept of Chaitanya from an idea that is rooted in the past, which you have kind of explored, and this desire to push it forward, right? But when the system has not changed, it's very difficult, and I think that's what you should try to get into maybe in your next project, because the Chaitanya is being a dice, it's being thrown out there.
Yeah, we're constantly moving. What are these barometers which will identify us as a Khasi 100 years from now? I'd be very interested to see what those ideas are, and what the concepts of identity were 100 years ago.
Are you apprehensive that one day you might be asked, either by the state or non-state actors, to vet films like these? Not the censorship, the censorship board, or now you have the police from the government and the community also. Films like these might be subject to.
It's quite evident that when people ask you to ban something, it's because they don't want you to know about it. They don't want people. It's easier to govern blind people as opposed to people who ask questions. It's like the church. Wow, I never said that. That's my point. Right.
Churchman asking questions.
That's off topic. But thank you for coming. Okay, there are two cars that are blocking someone. It's 2164 and 8135. 2164 and 8135.